dreams do happen. They come true. I dream something, about a week later, something's happening. If somebody's gonna die, a week later, you know, I'll get it in my dream, and then a week later, they're dead, you know. It's always been like that since I was a child. So with this, I hope I have an audience with this, because I know there's a lot of people, and I have a lot of friends and family that when we have dreams, we reach out to each other and we're like, oh my God, this happened. And usually they say, if you don't want something to happen, say it. So I try to say all my good and bad dreams, all my bad dreams, I'm sorry, I try to say, and even the good ones I share them, because I feel like, hey, you know, this is great, this is not such a big deal, you know. But the thing is, this morning around 5:30 a.m. I dreamt with a lady named Doris, a white lady, Caucasian lady, American, in her late 60s. She's about 72, but she's about 75. She's a hippie, very cool lady. She's into collecting and selling antiques, and apparently we lived in the same building on the same floor. In the dream, one day I just kind of like I saw this really beautiful hand-woven wool rug from like Turkey or something, or Iran. I think it was Turkish, or actually it was like Turkish or Moroccan, because of the colors, the pigments. They were like rich royal purple, some greens, some blues. The colors, the pattern was weird. The patterns were like Native American, but the colors indicated that they were not from the USA. It indicated more like Morocco or Turkey. So I was, of course, intrigued by that beautiful rug, and I had seen it a couple of times. The thing is that even though we lived, it was a residential space, but her doors were always open. Her one door, her apartment door, which was way smaller than my apartment, was always open and full of like antiques and tchotchkes up to the ceiling. And I love collecting antiques. I've been doing this for like, oh my God, for so long. Since a young girl, since like my high school days, I've always been collecting and buying from estate and garage sales, from old ladies. I have a whole bunch of like collection, things that I've collected in the past, I don't know, 30 years. So I was always coming home, and I was always intrigued. I knew she was there. So one day I see this rug like all the way high up in the ceiling, squished and wedged into in between furniture and stuff like that. I mean, this woman has so much stuff to the ceiling. So I walked in hoping to see her. She had a desk right in the front. She had a desk, and I was hoping to see Dori there, right? Instead, I see this, wrong move. Instead, I see this younger guy who is in about, oh my God, his late 40s, 50s, I don't know, around that, all scrubby, another white, you know, American guy, Caucasian, and dark hair, pale skin, tall, thin, scrubby, story is that he was weird. He was really strange. He had like this very mysterious kind of personality going, and I was in shock. I was like, what is this guy doing in Dori's desk? So I went in and I was like, hi, is Dori here? He's like, no, she's not. Very straight and very like, you know. So I was like, okay. He was very strange. I said, well, where's my little old lady, you know? So weeks later, and this is all part of the dream, weeks later, I'm coming home and I see that Dori is sitting by her desk. It's like the small little wood antique desk that she's sitting at. She had like these beautiful dirty blonde curls, you know, with white hair in it, like myself. And she was very pretty. She was a very perky, like bohemian, very hippie, very happy kind of lady. So I said, hey, Dori, how are you? She's like, oh, I'm okay, I'm okay. I said, guys, this is all a dream. I'm not making this stuff up. This is what I dreamt this morning, and I wanted to share it with everyone because I was like, oh my God, this is great. So, I'm like, hey, Dori, how are you? And she's like, I'm well, I'm well. I'm like, what's going on? Everything okay? You don't seem well, like you seem kind of off. Is everything okay? And she's like, I'm okay, I'm okay. You know, and I said, hey, I came in to see you the other day because I actually want to see if I can buy that rug from you, that rug you have up on, wedged in the ceiling. And she says to me, oh yeah, you can have it actually. And I'm like, I can have it? Oh my God, are you sure about that? I'll pay for what, you know, let me pay something for it. She's like, no, I want you to have it because I know you appreciate like antiques and stuff like that. And we, you know, we were chit-chatting. She understood I love antiques, and actually I had been to Dori before. I would sit there in her office, antique collective space, and I would just say like, oh my God, where is this from? This is so cool, you know, tell me about it. And she would tell me stories for hours and hours, and she would just tell me, oh, I got that when I was here, there, you know. That was the gist of that part of the dream. So we sit down. I'm like sitting down with her. I'm standing up, but I'm standing right across from her on her little desk. There's barely any space for me to really move around. There's a lot of tchotchkes, a lot of collections in there. So I said to her, Dori, are you sure you're okay? You know, I'm good at sensing people. I sense that you're not all right. And by the way, I came here a few days ago to check up on you. And there was some guy here, some guy I've never seen before. And she goes, well, that's why I'm not doing well. That's my boyfriend. And I was like, huh, your boyfriend? I said, ooh, little cougar you. She laughed. And I said, yeah, but what's going on? She goes, I'll tell you another day. It's like, I don't want to say anything right now because I'm really worried about something. And I said, oh, no. You must tell me because, you know, I want to make sure if I can help. Is everything okay, you know? And she's like, things are really, really weird, really bad. We'll talk later. I said, okay. A couple days later, I see a lot of people coming in and out of her apartment. Mostly women. Apparently, Dori had 3 daughters. That's what I remember in the dream. She had 3 daughters. They were all in their 30s. And they actually looked like mixed children. They looked Hispanic. One looked very white. So I was just like in shock. I was just like, oh my God. This lady, I don't know. She never told me about any of this. So I walk in, I'm like, hi, and they're like praying, They're all, the space is kind of cleaned up a little bit and less cluttered. And I was in shock. I was like, this is very strange. I said, what's going on? And they're like, oh, you know, we're praying for Dori. We're praying for my mom. I said, what happened to Dori? And they were like, well, she's been missing for a few days. And I'm like, I just saw her a few days ago, like literally 2 days ago, 3 days ago, whatever it was. And they were like, yeah, she's been missing. And she had this very weird, violent, crazy boyfriend. And we called the police. And I was just like, oh my God. I said, look, I have to confess. They were all kind of sitting around, and I stood up. There were a lot of wealthy people there too. So it was weird. The scenario was weird because there were like all these very wealthy, famous women there. And I recognized some of them, and I said hello. You know, we all sat around, and I was just like, oh, hi, you know, and we were all hugging each other. It was a very peaceful environment. Her daughters, like I said, they were pretty, very different looking, you know, sort of like me, very like, I couldn't make out their nationalities, but I knew they were Dori's daughters. They had to be wherever Dori was from. So I sit around with them. They're all praying. They're all saying beautiful stories about Dori. So I kind of like raised my hand. I said, can I jump in for a minute? And I said, you know, I don't know if I should be saying this, but when I saw Dori a few days ago, she didn't really look very well. And she looked very concerned. And she began to tell me about a boyfriend that she has, which, by the way, I met her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was here days before she was here, and he wasn't very nice. He was a very weird, odd character. I tried to say hello. He was very much like, with very short answers. Where's Dori? Oh, she's not here. Oh, how are you? Okay, good. Not even like, how are you? He was not friendly, is what I was trying to say. So that rang a bell to me. I was very concerned when I met him, and I didn't see Dori there. It was only him at the desk, kind of like taking over. So I found that very strange, very weird. And I shared this with the family. I stood up and I started crying, and I said, oh my God, I hope she's okay. I don't feel good about this. And they said, just sit down. They were like, just sit, please, don't. You know, we're trying to do the best that we can. We're keeping our high hopes up. And I said, something tells me she's not doing well. That's what I'm trying to say. And she tried to communicate something, and she said she couldn't speak to me about it. So I'm feeling not good about this. And they're like, yeah, no. They all started crying. They were like, oh my gosh, she's going to be fine. We're going to find her. And I said, okay. I said, I hope so. I said, I'm sorry. I wanted to share that bit of information with you guys, because I really didn't know her as well as any of you did. She was my neighbor. And they're like, oh, you live next door? And I said, yes, I live next door. Oh, we've heard all about you. And I said, yeah, I was just here a few days ago. And the conversation piece has always been that rug that's up there. And they were like, oh, yeah, we know. She wanted to give that to you. She wanted you to have that. And I said, oh my God. I started crying and bawling. I was just like, you know, if you're her daughters, if you want to keep it, you should keep it. You know, don't worry about me. I'll be happy to know that you guys. I said, that is a very cool rug. Your mom told me the whole story about it. She got it in one of her travels. And, you know, I think it's a very cool rug. And they were like, no, we want you to have it. Let's just clean up a little bit more. That is yours. And I said, no, you guys have it. And they were like, no, it's fine. And I said, look, I have to go right now, but please keep me posted. You know, I love to sit down and maybe pray with you guys. If you guys are praying, I don't mind sitting with you. But I I want to make sure that, you know, just keep me posted, make sure that she's okay. And I said, have you called the police? And they're like, yes, of course, we called the police, and they're looking for this guy. The thing is that this guy has got a very bad record. His name was like Daniel or David, something like that, if I remember correctly. It was like David, Daniel, something to that aspect. And I said, well, I'm glad you called the police because hopefully she's okay. I don't know anything about their relationship, and they were like, neither do we. We just know that she started like kind of hanging out with this guy, and he's much younger than her. And I was like, yeah, I saw him. He's a lot younger than her. She's probably 30 years older than this guy. And he just didn't seem, I don't know, she was thin and very, very beautiful. But I don't know, he was just so young for her. You know? He just didn't seem mature anyways. He didn't seem loving enough to be with Dori. That's where I'm going with. He didn't seem caring and loving enough to be with such a beautiful human being like Dori. So that makes a difference, because I could care less if you're 100 and you're 30 and you have, you know, if your boyfriend, you're 100 and your boyfriend is 30, or you're 30 and your girlfriend is 100. Who cares? Or your boyfriend is 100. I mean, truly, who cares? You know, if they match, it's a good thing. But with Dori, she had a very unique personality, a very loving and caring, charismatic human being. And here is this very contrasted type of human being who is just like not nice, not friendly, like all the knots in it. And then it turns out to be that her family, her daughters are here telling me, yeah, it turns out to be that guy. They figured out who he was. I don't know how and how, but they communicated with me, yeah, that he had like a super duper long record of crime, and he was just like a very bad human being, and he's murdered women. It was just crazy that this kind of human being will be out in the world, and that someone like Dori would wind up with him. And her name was truly Dori in my dream. This is the name that keeps coming up in the dream. So, long story short, and I am gonna take my time actually, because this is my YouTube channel, this is my vlog, going probably to Instagram as well, being shared on those two platforms. So, days go by, I go visit the girls, they're in the apartment, a ton of people in the apartment. All of a sudden, an apartment that was so loaded and packed with all kinds of stuff became so tiny. I mean, became so much larger, became spacious and clean. I was just like, wow, we're actually almost the same size. It was a huge apartment. It's just she has so much clutter in there. So, what's great is I walk in. So I walk in and I see everyone sitting around waiting for some kind of something. And guess what? We're all sitting there waiting anxiously. The daughters come and they tell everyone, well, we have found, they've located Dori. Mom is fine. She is all right. She is well. She's alive. And I was like, oh my God, shut up. We were all laughing. We were all happy. She was hiding out from this guy. He didn't actually do anything to her. He didn't do anything to her. She was hiding from him though. And she was hiding somewhere in a farm somewhere, you know. So she was fine. She was great. And we were all happy. We were all very happy to hear that she was safe. And, you know, I never got to speak to her again. My dream ended there. My son must have woken me up, and it all ended there. So, but it ended in a good note. The daughters were very happy. We were all her friends. We were all very happy. Her family. We all gathered around. Everyone was praying for days, and it turns out to be that this guy, even though he was weird and strange, he didn't get to do anything to her because she was keen enough and intelligent enough and wise enough to pick up, hide out, and apparently they did catch this guy. That's how we know this information, because she came out of hiding and she shared with everyone who he was and why she was missing for a few days and why she was afraid to come out. And this is how we know kind of his name, his record, and this is how we got to know all that information. It was because she shared it after she turned herself in, I guess, you know. But yeah, Dori hid in fear. So if there's a Dori out there, you know, don't think I'm crazy or anything. Pretty much, you can ask my family and friends. Whatever I say happens. I have visions. I've been having visions since I was like 18, 19 years old. And I always share them because I want to make sure people understand that that is what's going to happen. And I'm just so confident about my intuition, and I'm confident about my dreams. I'm confident about my visions, you know. I see things, it happens within hours, minutes, and days. So, and months. Sometimes it can take. Usually when I dream that somebody died, it happens within days and maybe at the most 3 weeks. If I dream of something that happened, of someone coming into money, that comes in like right away. It happens within like a week. If I dream of someone missing or someone has been murdered or something like that, that happens like within days. I hear a story. And sometimes I have had weird stories, weird dreams with celebrities, and next thing that has happened in the dream has become to real life events. So it's a little strange, and that's why I decided, you know what, with Dori, I think Dori is pushing me to go for it, you know. And I don't know who Dori is. I've described her. I've described her lifestyle. I've described her age, kind of. And I've described her personality a little bit. So, hopefully, this is not, you know, hopefully it turns out to be like in the dream, that she was safe and she was okay. She saved herself, you know. But, yeah, if there's a Dori out there and she's a little cougar and her man is a young guy, the name David, Daniel, something like that, you know, let me know. Let me know. I'm curious to see if there's a Dori out there going into some kind of situation right now. And Dori, I love your spirit. You're so intelligent. You knew you are intelligent enough and wise enough of years of experience. You knew to hide and turn yourself in and turn that guy in, and you did the right thing, honey. So I believe that dreams are just another extension of our days and our. In fact, I was just talking to a good friend of mine about this recently. That I believe dreams are extensions, you know, of another realm, another level of existence. I don't believe dreams are just dreams. I believe that dreams are in existence, and they're just in another level, you know. And people just kind of dream stuff. They don't pay attention. I pay attention to my dreams like crazy, like I'm living them, because I do live them. I suffer them. I live in them. I cry. I hurt. I laugh. You know, it is real. It is so real. So I hope this could help someone out there. I hope right. I hope you're all well. Be happy, healthy, safe. Shout out to my Ukrainian friends and people out in Ukraine. I love you guys. I love your spirit. I love that you are keeping strong, and many are trying to keep safe. And let's keep on sending positive energy for a peaceful world, and that all this stops immediately. I did a video about that, but this is not about that right now. I will upload that video the next 2 days.